I'd like to talk for a minute about this little compressor here. I got this from Grandaddy Peek, who passed away a few years back. Went down for the funeral, and Dad told me that he said, "Granddaddy would want you to have that." So, to Charles Rpeek, I say thank you. This has been an invaluable tool. I don't know if I would have bought myself one. I kind of was at a place in my life where I was having other people do work for me, and I was okay with that. But when I brought this home, I also brought home other tools and other things that belong to Granddaddy, and stuff that belonged to my dad. This old toolbox used to belong to my dad. You know, it's got the little Mr. Horsepower on the side. You know, got an old bumper sticker. It's been painted a few times, you can tell. And Granddaddy was holding on to it for him. We cleaned it up and put it in the back of my car and brought it back here, along with various other things. But this little compressor has been good. I mean, let's start off by saying I know zero about maintaining it. I have learned that you can open up the little valve on the bottom to let water out, and I learned that you can clean the little air filter by just taking it off and cleaning it up with some air, blowing air through it, or using some soap and water, drying it out and putting it back on. I clean it up from time to time, and I've lubed up the little parts. I started out wanting to spray paint this car and decided to take a trip to Harbor Freight. And I bought various things to attach to it, not knowing how any of it works. I took auto body when I was in high school, and that was 20 years ago. I got my 20th year anniversary or reunion coming up this year. And I don't remember much. I had it on this regulator so I could regulate how much air pressure was coming through my line. Once I got it on there, though, it had no directions on how it works. And this little gauge here, when I put it on, I broke it. I tightened it too tight, and it's a cheap little piece of plastic. It's got Made in China stamped all over the stupid thing, which is probably why I got it real cheap at Harbor Freight. Let's face it, they're not known for quality, they're known for their price. Anyway, I went back up there and picked up one of these for like $1.30 something. Came back home, I put some plumber's tape around the screw, reattached it. All this is put together, as you can tell, with plumber's tape in between the seams, so that way no air flies through. I did figure out that this regulator does work it. One way makes it increase your pressure, see that? One way makes it decrease. You just push it in to make it lock. Pull it out to turn it. Pretty simple. This right here is an inline air dryer. It's like $8. I don't know if it's the best thing for me to use, but I'm going to give it a shot. This is actually one that they advertise goes next to the gun. But rather than running the risk of breaking this thing so close to where I'm doodling around or touching fabric or not fabric, but touching metal or whatever I'm painting with it, I decided to put it on the machine. I had to get me a little conversion piece of pipe from the local Ace Hardware store. I've got all that together. I got my hose here. Can attach this, okay? No big deal. I went to get an attachment for my gun, because when I bought my gun from Harbor Freight, it has this attachment. Well, that means I need to have an air nipple on the end so that I can attach it to the air line. So when I went, they had lots of them all lined up for 89 cents a piece, and I picked one up. Well, I got the wrong kind. As you can see here, if I lay it next to one that works, the setup is different and it doesn't fit. So, I threw away this stupid receipt. China. I threw away this stupid receipt. So, I reckon I'll just go back there and buy another one for 89 cents. No big deal. But, I got it all together here. I've blown it up. You can see the air pressure is up around 75. And this little plastic air dryer on top here says just don't go above 90. So I figured 75 is plenty since I'm going to be spraying around 20 to 25. I still got to figure out what works for spraying. I'm not done with body work.